So, Fidias, let's get straight to it. You're in favor of asking the public a lot of the time what positions you should take on things, what your stance. I mean, that's kind of how you got elected, basically, as well, and how you decided what your allegiances would be in the parliament. I mean, do you think that's what people want, or do people actually want some leadership from their politicians? Or, because effectively you're being led by the public. Don't they want some leadership in this complicated world?
I'm not in favor of asking the people too much. I'm against the current political system because I think it's not working, it's not efficient, it's divisive. We only vote once every 4 or 5 years, and between 2-3 options that they give us that a lot of the times we don't like. And I am against this current political system. Not in a way just to be against it. I think it could be improved and be better. And I'm on the search for trying something new. Maybe it will be horrible. Maybe I'm doing bullshit. But I think trying, it's an important thing. This is how innovation works. And to support my idea, why I do it is not just to try and just to go against the current system. I think when you have a lot of power corrupts, I think. And the longer you stay in power, the more I think is more dangerous for you to be corrupted. So sharing this power with the public in a way that they understand. For example, we develop an application now and we verify if you are a European citizen, and you can vote on stuff that I am voting in the European Parliament. Not everything, I vote 500 stuff, but once a month, twice a month, we put a vote that I'm voting, whatever the public says, I do. So we're trying to do something different than it's been done. And all the time, I put 5 votes so far to the public, because recently we developed, and all the times they voted what I was going to vote. But I'm making a video and explaining them the facts. Of course, sometimes it could be biased because when I'm presenting, it's biased, but it's an attempt for something new.
You say power corrupts, you just said it then.
And absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Exactly. But a lot of people would say people like you, influencers and people on social media, have a lot of power. So how do you stop being corrupted in that sense? A lot of people would accuse a lot of social media influencers now of being very powerful.
Yes, I think this is true. I think, you know Joe Rogan, right? He's the biggest podcaster in the world. I think he has more power than people think he has, and I think times 10, because I am also the biggest podcaster of my country, and I have this kind of power in my country. When you make a podcast, my country is 1 million population, and 100,000 people watch my podcast. So 100,000 people watch one podcast debate that I did with someone, or when I bring you kind of, in a way, I don't know if this is you influence or manipulate the public opinion about your ideas.
You have a lot more influence than some politicians do, right?
Yes, and that's why when you combine both, being a politician and an influencer is the killer.
So how do you stay accountable, though? How do people keep you in check? What can they do? How can you?
Well, that's why I'm saying we need to kind of have some ways of sharing power with the people and not keeping all the power and decentralize the power. I'm not for the power too much. So I'm open to suggestions, but it's true. Influencers and politicians have a lot of power, and they stay. But to be honest, I feel that I'm more accountable because I have a huge following. Someone can kill me in the streets because he doesn't like my stance, or there's a lot of criticism. Because a lot of the members of the European Parliament, nobody the fuck knows who they are, so they are not accountable to no one. So I think it's better to be accountable in public than being accountable to no one.
You kind of got to where you are and prided yourself in the past, and presumably still now, about being an outsider. Now you're an insider. How has that changed your perception, or how has that changed how you do things, or is it more complicated?
Well, yes, now I'm an insider, and as an outsider, you cannot change a lot of things, I think. You can force change public opinion, all this stuff, but when you need the knowledge also how the system works, all the mechanics, and if you combine these two, I think is very strong. So I will tell you a joke. I will have a mini, not it's a in my country we have cities, and the person responsible for one city, I don't know, the mayor of the city. He told me he is the best mayor in my country, Cyprus, and he told me, my friend Fidias, the most powerful tool that I have for me to be heard is for me to use social media to put pressure on them to do what I want them to do, because it's a system that cannot change. You need to force it to change from the outside to change from the inside. So I don't know if you understand what I mean. I think it's a huge tool. So I think I'm also on the outside and also in the inside.
So you're an outsider insider now.
Yes, but also like we got 2.5 billion views in 8 months that I'm a member of the European Parliament, talking about how the EU institutions work. Nobody knows how the EU institutions work. If you go and ask in the streets, regular people, who is Ursula von der Leyen? They go, how the European Commission, what is the European Commission? How regulations are being taken? Nobody will know. So I think this is good. I think even if I don't do anything else until I finish my mandate, getting the public to understand what is happening there transparently, which they seem they are very interested, because there is a lot, but they are just not interested in the boring way. But yeah.
What do you think? I mean, basically that leads me to then ask you, what do you think traditional politicians can learn from you? Are they learning, do you think?
Traditional politicians, what they can learn from me? Well, I don't know. I'm so focused on learning from them that I forget that they
the
can
communication
learn
style.
Something from
they can learn about communication better, presumably, right?
Thank you for helping me to understand. But yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I had 2.5 million subscribers. I was doing this for a living. My job was I was getting millions of dollars passed from my hands because I knew how to manage attention of the people. So it's easy for me now to come here and get the attention of the people because I was world-class level of getting the attention of the people doing it professionally. So what is like, sometimes I have some billionaires friends and I joke with them that I increasingly have more power than they have, because not only the politician side, but as an influencer, attention is the currency now. You can move things, you can do a lot of things with attention. It's very important. So if you have the attention, so to play these games that I'm playing is not games. I'm just trying, it's not that I'm doing something special. I know that people are on TikTok, on Instagram Reels. They are not watching that much long form content. They are not watching that much TV. So I need to appeal to them. So I need to start the video and say, oh my God, this is happening here. So I capture their attention. So I'm just using the tricks kind of to capture their attention. So they can use these tricks to pass their message, because this is what we do as politicians, trying to influence with our message.
And you consider yourself a politician now, right?
No, I consider myself everything.
And with that power, what do you hope to achieve? I mean, what do you want to achieve with that power? Its power is great, but it's only good if you can achieve something with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very strange answer, I understand, when you're asking a politician what you want to achieve and they say, I don't know.
Well, at least it's honest, I guess.
But, there is a lot of, if you go in the theory of innovation, a lot of the times there is going to be a lot of opportunities on the rise that they're not now here. So putting goals, it will come naturally, because I don't know enough yet of how the system works and exactly. But I want more transparency. I want more efficiency. I want to stop the war in Ukraine, to not demonize Putin and just go and talk with him, to have diplomacy. Like we're not, that's what we should do. So I have all these ideas that I want to influence, but I want to, my big idea is to change democracy, evolve democracy to something closer to direct democracy. So this is but this will evolve, this will change. Nowhere in the world they are doing direct democracy right now in a way that I'm imagining. So I want to create something new, the future, with the follow of the people.
I mean, there's another quite famous person on TikTok and Instagram and social media who also has a similar approach to dealing with Putin, Donald Trump.
I agree with him.
He's getting a lot of criticism, but actually you think maybe that's not the wrong approach?
Well, what do you mean? You are talking about Trump, about the war in Ukraine now, specifically.
To deal with Putin, to not just completely demonize, and to try and get some solution by talking. I mean, that you would agree with, presumably, in his approach.
Well, because we need to go a bit to the history to this. Actually, I think I don't like Trump, actually, what he's doing and everything. It's an interesting case, but on this, I love him. He came and shook Europe and forced us to kind of rethink, see about because before he came in office, the talks about Ukraine to have peace with Russia didn't exist. Diplomacy didn't exist in the cards. So now it's cool that it started this conversation. But we need to go a bit back and see, okay, how this started. My understanding of the topic is that the United States provoked this war because the Russia said that is red line if you expand NATO and put it in our borders. United States, now the officials are saying that they did this. Like, it's the main story now in the United States. So I think, it's not that Putin is good. Putin is bad. But United States is more bad, more evil, I think, here. So if we're not talking, how many wars the United States started in the past? So many, to promote democracy all over the world. Bullshit. So if we're not talking with Putin, let's not talk with Trump. Let's not talk with Netanyahu, with what he's doing in Israel. Let's not talk with Erdogan because he did an invasion in Cyprus, Turkey. So we're just hypocrites, fucking hypocrites here in Europe. So I think diplomacy is the solution, to start communicating, find common ground, see what you agree, find common, because the loser here is us, Europe and Ukraine, first of all, because they are losing their people. So.
And do you think one of the problems in Europe is that we actually don't know how to deal with Trump as well? We don't know how to react. We don't know.
And it's not in our advantage that we don't know, because we don't bring him closer to us, we make him further to us. So we're not smart diplomatic. I think China is playing chess in the global diplomacy. China is playing Go. Russia is playing chess. America is playing poker, and we don't know what we're playing. Yet we don't have a strategy yet in Europe to even play a game.
And which of those games are you best at?
Poker. But yeah, I think China gets the gold medal of foreign policy. Also, Russia is good. Then the United States, and we last.
Final question. I mean, early days for you, but looking forward in 4 years' time or so, when you're maybe coming to the end of your process here, or maybe not, what would you look back on and say is a good achievement? What would you be proud of in the next few years if you look back?
From what I did already, of what I want to do?
What you hoped that you might look back on in the next few years?
If we reinvent democracy and make it closer to direct democracy, and we prove the concept that works, so other people or countries can follow, I think this will be the biggest achievement. Prove a concept that direct democracy works.
Fidias?
I didn't prove it yet.
Let's see whether that happens. Thanks for talking to us.
I love you.
Thank you.